Good morning and welcome to my thought for the day. Lovely to have your company again this morning as we turn to Matthew chapter 11 and verse 27. Let me read these three verses to you. These are words of Jesus. All things have been delivered to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now we often read verses 28 and 29 and 30 without reading the verse beforehand. Jesus is talking about what we were talking about yesterday, really, in different words, when he said, no one comes to the Father but by me. Here he's saying nobody truly knows the Son, his fullness, his full majesty, his full glory, except the Father. And no one knows the Father except those to whom the Son reveals him. And the Son chooses to reveal him. And then he says, come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden. You know, the scriptures are full of invitations. And Jesus, having said that he is the one who knows God, knows the Father in a way that nobody else knows him. He it is then who he says the Father no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. So he could choose to reveal the Father to anybody. But what does he do? He invites you and me. He invites everyone to share in this intimate knowledge of the Father. Come to me. That's where it starts, coming to Jesus. Come, follow me. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Jesus relieves us of the burdens that we carry, the burdens of sin and guilt and shame and regret and hatred and unforgiveness and selfishness and all sorts of things that we have wrong with us, that burden us, all sorts of things. He says, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden. That sounds very like what the Lord said to Adam, that he would find life really hard, that work would be hard, earning a living would be hard, making a way in this world would be hard, harder than it need have been because of the impact of sin on the world, making it harder to get a harvest, harder to live. Well, Jesus came to bring us life and give us abundant life. He came to help us. He came to lift our burdens from us. So the first step in knowing the Father is not going straight to the Father. The first step in knowing the Father is coming to Jesus. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That's the first thing. He relieves us of our burdens. If you've never read Pilgrims Progress, this is the premise at the start of the story of Pilgrims Progress, which is all about Christian who's in the city of destruction and wants to reach the celestial city. His first step is to go through the narrow gate to the cross, and there his burden is lifted off him. We have a funny little board game that I bought years and years ago, which is based on Pilgrim's Progress. And it's a dice roll thing, and the way you get to the celestial city is by collecting prayer cards and using them to defeat the activity of the enemy on the board game. It's a very good board game, but it's a bit frustrating because the first part of the journey from the city of destruction to the cross, Christian is bearing his burden, and every roll of the dice gets halved. So you go very, very slowly while you're carrying the burden of sin. And it's a lovely sort of graphic picture, real life picture, playing this board game, that you throw a 6 and you only move 3. You throw a 2, you only move 1. And it takes forever to get to the cross, where the burden is lifted and the Christian is given a scroll with his name written on it that he has to take to the celestial city. It's a great little board game. I don't suppose it's even available now. It's very old, but it's such a reminder of what Jesus did for us, that our burden is taken away. We don't carry sin anymore because he's carried it for us. He's taken it. And then he says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Now that's a contradiction, really. Now, when it says yoke there, it's not talking about part of an egg, the yolk of an egg. It's talking about an agricultural imagery there. Let me read you what the dictionary says about the word yoke, Y-O-K-E. A yoke is a wooden frame, usually consisting of a bar, with an oxbow at either end for attaching to the necks of a pair of draft animals, especially oxen, so that they can work as a team. So it goes across the shoulders of the animals, and the oxbow, I looked that up because that's an unusual old-fashioned word. An oxbow is a U-shaped piece of wood fitted under or around the neck of a harnessed ox and attached to the yoke. So the two oxen, they have a wooden thing round their necks to hold them, and then they have a wooden attachment to the next animal, the ox, the next animal, and they work together, ploughing the field. It's something we don't see anymore because we've got mechanized machinery, but there are still in some places competitions for ploughing when you use a yoke and you have two oxen pulling the plough with the ploughman behind the plough directing the oxen. And the imagery here it's strange, isn't it? As Jesus says, "I will give you rest." But the rest he gives us is ease of work, because the two oxen together, they work together as a team. The more experienced ox and the younger ox, less experienced ox, linked together by this yoke and held round the neck so that they can't escape. They work together, and the younger animal learns to walk and work in step with the more experienced animal. And they work together. And they can't escape each other because the wooden yoke is not flexible, it's very strong. And they learn that if they try to go their own way, it hurts. So they walk together. And Jesus is saying, "I will give you rest. And then take my yoke on you. Be yoked to me, linked to me, and learn from me, like the younger animal learned from the older animal. For I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Jesus invites us to walk in step with him and achieve his purposes here on earth. Walking with him. He commits himself to us to walk alongside us with the yoke round his neck and the yoke round our neck, working together for his purposes, for the Father. And that is the way to know the Father, is to walk in step with Jesus. Jesus is the way to the Father. And then he says, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Now he's talked about lifting the burdens. "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." He's lifted off the old burdens, and he's put a different burden on us, a burden of service to the Father. which is a light burden. His service is perfect freedom. We choose to walk linked to Jesus, and Jesus chooses to walk with each one of us to achieve the purposes and do the work that the Father has given us to do. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. All the time that we keep our eyes fixed on Jesus and we walk with him and he walks with us, it's easy. It's not hard. It's only hard when we try to go our own way, when we try to pull against the yoke, when we try, having started to walk with Jesus, to go our own way, then it becomes really hard. But the invitation is to take up the challenge of walking with Jesus every single day of our lives. And through that, knowing the Father intimately. Hallelujah. What an invitation. Come to me, all who labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. But not only rest, but a job to do, work to do, something to get your teeth into, working alongside and in harmony with Jesus himself. Oh, what a wonderful picture that is. If you can find a picture of a yoke of oxen, or even a little film of I'm sure it's somewhere on the internet. You can see what the actual animals used to do, similar to horses that pull carriages. They are yoked together. It's a similar sort of idea. Anyway, God bless you. Have a great day. I hope you find somewhere where you can worship the Lord today. Today, the Lord's day. Bless the Lord and give him glory. Bye-bye.